This is Epworth from the Texas Cross Stitchers. Welcome back for part 2 of my WIP parade. I will get started in just a second. Yesterday I just posted part 1 finally. It took me a while to get it up. I'm new to trying to edit it and get it uploaded. Dealing with the computer is not my strong point. Never really have had to do anything with a computer, or if I did, it was very straightforward. So hopefully it wasn't to the standard that Kindle did in the past, but hopefully I will improve as I go. She's still very busy with teaching, spending time with her family. She does hope to start working on her cross stitch again soon, so we can all hope that happens also. Weather-wise today, we are very chilly here in central Texas, or as most of Texas. Yesterday we never got above 28, stayed around 19, 20, 21 most of the day. This morning we started out at 19. I think we're supposed to get to 34, so as they say, we will get above freezing. So I have on a sweater. I don't have many sweaters, not much need for them. And for once, I'm not in a t-shirt, so it is something new. All right, so I will get started now. The first one is by Whilst Iris Knapp. This was a exclusive with the homespun needlework last year, and I bought it because I thought it was very pretty. And this is how far I got. I worked on it probably a couple of times. The next project was an exclusive from the Fanciful Flamingo. This was the blessing sampler she put out in January, and I am almost finished with it. I did not get it finished in January, even though I took it with me when we went out of town to work on it, because this little motif here with the little flowers, each one was at least stitched twice. I kept getting off on the count. So it really, I didn't have any problems with the one over here, but this one, I don't know. I almost gave up on it. And then as I was doing the border, I'm going to have to make it a little wider. I guess somehow some of my motifs are a little further apart than they should be. So, but it will eventually get finished. This, I don't think I said, was by the proper stitcher, the English Rose. I do believe she said this would be coming out later this year. But it is really pretty, almost finished. The next project I have is a Reflex de Soie. It's called Antoinette Dubois. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. It was in a box that came out, I believe, 22. I've looked all over the internet. I cannot find a photo of it. It was an exclusive to the box that she put out that year. So this is the little bit of a start that I got on it. I had thought about just UFOing this one because I had not worked on it. But when I was getting it out, and I thought, well, it really is pretty. And I like the colors. It only has maybe about 6 colors. It is silk. So I think I will continue on with it. Okay, our next one is a dimensions kit. It's one of my full coverages. Winter Cabin. I have a small start on this one. It's very pretty. It will take me a while. This one I work on a little bit at a time, pulling the 3 and 4 strands through the 18 count makes my hand hurt right through here. So I worked on it quite a bit earlier this week, and my hand's been giving me problems ever since then. I did more than I should have. But there's my start. I don't know how to fix that problem. I'll have to figure out a way to do that. The next one is also another dimensions kit. I started this last year when Liz from Liz Matthews was doing a little stitch along. She got much further on hers. I started it. I don't remember why. A mistake or something, because I've restarted it on the same fabric. I switched mine to an easy grid from the plain Ada that was in the kit. So I've gotten to there. Hopefully I won't run out of threads, because this is how much I got done when I decided to stop. Like I said, I don't remember why I did. Excuse me. My next WIP is Daisies. This is part of the Seed Packet series that Fat Quarter Shop is doing this year. This was the first one in January. So I got a little start on it. There's going to be 12 of them. And there's Daisies. You can get a finishing kit to go with them. Has Lady Dot Creates. Another one from Fat Quarter Shop. This was last year. They did the shelf life. This was December. I got several of them done. I think I have maybe 4 other ones that aren't finished. But this one is close to a finish. I worked on it in December. I can't find the February one. I don't know what I did with it, but it is finished. We have from Lori Holt, her neighborhood house that she started last year. This was the tea house. I believe this was the first one. It's the only one I've bought so far. Not much of a start. The Simply Signs that Fat Quarter Shop did, I believe, a couple of years ago now. This was the Spooky. Again, a small start. Most of these fabrics were special dyes from Fabric Flair for Kimberly that year to go with these. I had the Fa La La. Even a smaller start. The next one I believe is Welcome. I've gotten a little bit more done on this one. All of these are done on 14 count. And the next one is, I did take this one with me. I worked on it on the plain. Since it is 14 count, it was easy to see, even though the lighting wasn't great. So I got a little bit done on it. These also, I have a tendency to take them with me when my husband and I go somewhere and we actually ride in the same car together. Because he has a 4-wheel drive, and since it's so bouncy, I never can do any stitching on smaller count. So those are my travel pieces also. Another Lori Holt, Pumpkins for Sale cross stitch. This is probably one of the first patterns I started back when I started doing cross stitch again. I got most of it done. I need to pick it up, and probably wouldn't take me too long to finish. I think about all I have left is more of the the date sunflowers, I guess. I'd actually forgot all about this one. as I'd explained to my other one, there's a lot of projects I never touched last year. This was from probably about 3 years ago when Fat Quarter Shop did their patchwork series, and this was Freedom. This one was the first time I'd used NPI silks. So, got a little ways to go. The next one is from the same series, is Fantastic Fox, or Foxtastic, sorry. Same thing done with the NPI silks. Okay, this was a Savior's Praise. When I first got back into cross stitch, everybody was doing this, and I thought it was really pretty and wanted to do it. This probably is my first linen piece, so it took me a while to get going on it. So I did pick it up last year and do some work on it. Have a whole lot left to do. But it's definitely, I know at the beginning I was taking out stitches all the time because I was miscounting. But now it goes a lot easier now since I've got more practice with the linen. Whoops. Okay. Well, I guess I won't show you that. That was the cover page. This is Autumn from Stitching Seasons with Stitching with the Housewives. This is how far I got on it. This is Winter, Stitching with the Housewives. Got a tiny start. I also have Summer, which I can't remember if I showed it to you before or not. It's in the other room. I did finish Spring. That was the only one that is finished. Also from Stitching with the Housewives, this is Sayings of the Season. I believe this was last year's quarterly club that they had. This is Summer. Not too far on Summer. Spring. Got a little bit more done on Spring. My fabric I haven't figured out what has caused that, so hopefully it won't get in the way of the design. I know it's not because it's faded, because these aren't kept where the sun gets to them, so I'll have to figure out what caused that. Winter. Another teeny tiny start. And those are done on the Monaco. It's my first time really to work with Monaco. It's a little stiff for me. Okay, and then the monthly weigh-in. It was a monthly, I believe 2 years ago now. I did get all the charts. I have not started all of them. But this is where I got on that one. I started November. A very tiny start. The next one, I have a little bit more done. This was October. And here is October. And February. Once again, a teeny tiny start. I do have the other ones. The other ones have, like as I said, I have not started yet. I think I've finished one of them. I don't remember which month it is at the moment. This is by Teresa Kogut. A lot of people are very familiar with it. It's her Halloween sampler. I believe this was originally a Patreon pattern, and then she put it in a booklet. This one I have started twice. I think I had it on parchment by Fiber on a whim, and I just decided I wasn't crazy about how it was turning out. So I did start it over. I like this fabric much better. And I'll tell you all the fabrics and everything when these show up again when I start stitching on them. I'll tell you what my plans are in a plan video soon. This is from Twin Peak Primitive, Daughters of America miniseries. I was working on this back in the fall. I was out of town and I stopped because when I got to the skin, the color, I was not crazy about it. It's too dark. I'll probably take that out and switch it out for maybe Perfect Pie Crust from Classic Colorworks or something similar to that. Sorry, my throat. Got a little frog in my throat. A lot of drainage from all the wind. Kind of stirred up my allergies yesterday. Another one from Twin Peaks Primitive. This is the first Thanksgiving. I did buy the kind of the thread conversion that Chrissy from Finally a Farm Girl did, and then the flosses that they recommended. And as I go, I kind of look at each one and decide which color I want to go with. And here's that one. Another Teresa Kogut. Oh, I will show this to you when I do the ones with the on my iPad. All right, another Teresa Kogut, Let Love Rain. It was very popular when it came out, probably Nashville 2 years ago. Pretty colors. I am doing this with the Victoria Clayton silks. I like working with silk. I have several projects with silk. The stackables, like this was 23. These were in 2023 from Fat Quarter Shop. So this is June and January. And I'm showing those because they both are sharing the same fabric piece. So here's January. And here's June. I do have a couple of these finished, but that's all. This is one I started this year, even though I'd had it kitted up probably for about at least 2 years. It's from Plum Street, Cinnamon Stars. It was very popular about 3 years ago. Well, it's probably 3 years ago. I remember I was in Lubbock when I was trying to buy the fabric and the floss, ordered all because I was staying out there after my first grandson was born. My only grandson. But I did get this started this year. This, another one from Homespun Needleworks. The Christmas Tide Sampler. This was an exclusive done by Hands On Design. It was to do the 12 days of Christmas, and so you started on Christmas Day, and there was a little section she had it broken down to do for each day. I did pretty good at the beginning, and then I made some mistakes and got a little behind. So it is not complete yet. A Bluebird Salute by Luminous Fiber Arts. This is on Verdal. It's the first time I've used that fabric. It's been a little bit of a challenge because to me the holes are really, really small. I thought it'd be like a 40 count linen, but to me the holes are, and I think it's because it's tighter. So it's been very slow going. Christmas Tree Farm by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I bought this when I was in Dallas one time. There's a needlepoint, it's mostly needlepoint store off of LBJ and Preston Road, but they do carry some cross stitch, so I had gone up there to look for some flosses that I needed, and I bought everything to start this. This is from last year from Nashville Market. A Cardinal's Promise by Stitchy Prose. I really like the saying, and I like cardinals. We have cardinals out in the backyard. Talking about cardinals, the last 2 days with it being so cold, we've had lots of cardinals. We usually have maybe 3 or 4 males around and some females. We look outside most of the day yesterday at the bird feeders, and there's probably 20 plus. Half of them are the large males, bright red, and then the females, and there was a poor little golden finch trying to find his way up to the bird seed, and there were some house finches, but I'll have to go out and replenish today because they ate a lot of bird seed yesterday. And this is where I have not put in. I put just 20 because I thought hopefully I'll get it finished this year, but I'm not going to finish the date until I know what year it gets finished. Because if I put 25 in there, it will not get finished in 25. This is what I started a little while back. I really like the chart, but for some reason I just don't pull it out. And I think it's all the little stars. I have found I'm not that big of a fan of stitching a bunch of little stars because it's 4 little stitches, tie it off, go somewhere else, do 4 little stitches, so that it seems to me I spend an hour and I hardly get anything accomplished. But that's where I am. I do plan on leaving off where it says Dashing Through the Snow and just bringing the 1887 up right under the horse and the little carriage. This is the mini Simply Signs from last year that Fat Quarter Shop did. It is a Valentine's one. Got a little work on it this month. I did a few. I do a little seasonal, but I'm not stuck to seasonal. This was my birthday start back in December. It's an out of print chart by Mirabilia, Rose of Sharon. I was lucky and able to buy this. Let me stop. All right, sorry about that. I forgot to turn off notifications on my phone, so things started popping up. All right, this was the mini Simply Signs by Fat Quarter Shop. It's one of the Valentine patterns I worked on this month. This is Rose of Sharon. It was my birthday start. It's from Mirabilia. Started this back in December. This was, I've seen several people do it and I just thought it was beautiful. It is an out of print chart. I was able to buy it from the Dutch Stitcher. She had found it and would put it in her Etsy shop, so I purchased it from her. we go. This is one. I believe I started it this month. The 2020 Heart and Hand Heart Collector's Heart. It came as a kit, so it's a fabric for both pieces. I've started the larger piece. These are, this year Country Cottage Needleworks is doing mini villages. So I have started January. And February. January is almost complete. And a decent start on February. I do have the March chart, but I have not started it yet. Goodness. Excuse me. Little House Needleworks. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back. Started having a coughing fit, so I stopped. This is Little House Needleworks, months of the year. I believe when it originally came out, it was, you got one block a month, and it came with the floss. I just saw it last year. It's the first time I knew about it. And so I got a start on January. Since I've already stopped twice, I'm just gonna move this and move these over, because these are the ones that I do not have a cover sheet for. So I'll have to show pictures on the iPad again. I can hear my granddaughter out there singing. All right, first, we have got these out of order somehow. Excuse me, let me turn my pile. Let that out. I love it when you can't find something when you're looking for it. Okay, let's try this. Oh, here we go. This one is, I don't have the name of it on there. Star of Wonder, I believe is what it's called. It was from Fat Quarter Shop this last Christmas season. I just thought it was really pretty, the colors and everything, and it's different from their traditional. So, and got a little start. Next is from Shannon Christine, the Christmas Club pattern. I did have this organized better than it is now, unfortunately. There we go. This is the one that ran through 24, the little Christmas mugs. And I got, as I said, I started it, and I got through 4 of the mugs, and a small start on the 5th. Then the next one is her Peppermint Ridge that she started for the Christmas Club. This is the 25 Christmas Club. And I've only got to start on the first block. This, excuse me, is Monster House by Satsuma Street. I believe it was a stitch along last year. I started it after the stitch along. This is the first time I've done one of her patterns. Here we go. Sorry. This came out of the Punch Needle Primitive magazine by Teresa Kogut. Snowman Trio. This is another pattern by Teresa Kogut. It is Faith, Love, Peace, and Faith, Hope, Peace, and Love. This was a Patreon pattern this last year. I just thought it was really pretty with the blues and the browns. As I've mentioned before, blue's my favorite color. I started this in the fall. It's when I was in Dallas for a month. I did have all these organized at one time, but they kind of got unorganized. This was from Teresa Kogut again. It's Folksy Thomas, a Patreon pattern again. This one has been released, I believe, in the fall. It was part of a book, or it may be by itself. I don't remember. But I did get a start on that. Again, a Teresa Kogut Patreon pattern, Patriotic Tweet. I just love her colors and how she does things. Another Teresa Kogut. This was a stitch along and Patreon called A Simple Life for the top tier. I really thought I had finished this one, so when it turned up in my bag, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't. So I have a little bit left to do. I do believe that also is a pattern that has been released. Next is a Hello from Liz Matthews. It was a Patreon pattern. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I don't think it's on here. I'm sorry. I'll try to put it in the show notes what the name of it was. went blank all of a sudden. A Patreon pattern from Fox and Rabbit, Wilma Nima. If I remember right, she did release this last year. I changed the color of the dress on the bunny. The purples weren't going to show up, even though this is called a blue denim, but the purple didn't show up, so I changed it to aqua. The next is a full coverage piece. This is typically not my style of Halloween, but I had seen pictures of it, of somebody's progress on the Homespun Needleworks Facebook page, and it just intrigued me to do stitching and to be able to get all that detail in. And it has been really interesting to work on, because as I was doing it, when the trees started coming to life up in the corner, it was just fascinating to me that you could do this with a needle and thread on a piece of fabric. I think it's a little over 300,000 stitches, so I have a little ways left to go. This is a stitch along this year for the 250 years of the United States that the Crow River Stitcher, I just looked it up and should have wrote it down, is doing a salve for. This is Let Freedom Ring by Leela Studio. I know this pattern has been out for several years now, which I was happy about that, because she had it as a PDF, so I could just download this to my Markup XP, which is how I like to do things. So I've made a decent amount on it. I'm trying to do about 500 to 700 stitches a week so that I'll get it finished in time. The next one is a pattern that a lot of people are familiar with, from Alforce Embroidery. 100 Owls. I started this back in the fall. Not too far yet. Worked a little bit on that actually this week. This was a new start this last fall from Fat Quarter Shop. Spooky Sweet. And then a Halloween one that I had started last year, had a tiny start, and I pulled it out. I was doing the WIP parade, and I'm almost finished. I think I have maybe 300 stitches left. Basically, it's just finishing off the cat's body and a couple of more hearts. So it's turning out really cute. This is from Finally a Farm Girl, Chrissy. Okay, the next one is one that I had seen on Teresa Kogat's, I believe it's her Patreon, but somebody had sent in where they did a couple of her patterns and did it on a fabric flare, pre-printed. And I thought, well, whoops, sorry about that. I thought it was really cute. So I've ordered the fabric and had it for about a year. These are the two patterns. And I tried to figure out exactly where she started so I could get a little start on it, and I did back in June. And then I did no, I didn't pull it out in October, but I did in June pull it out and do some work. All right, I do think that's all of my WIP parade. There's probably 2 or 3 laying around that I've missed. I hope y'all enjoyed seeing all the different projects I have. I try to do a little bit of different things. I'm trying to add some designers I haven't done before. Different flosses. There's so many different companies out now doing flosses. Yeah, really, I guess that's about it. In a couple of days, I will do my kits. I have several projects that are already kitted up with floss, some fabric. Sometimes there's not a fabric, but once you have all the floss, the fabric is kind of the easier part to pick out. So I'll try to do that because I do have several, and then I will return to my regular floss tubes. Maybe by then Kendall can join me and show a little progress on her patriotic stitch. I hope y'all all are staying warm and safe, and have a good day. I hope you got some stitching done, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.